Good morning. How is everybody this beautiful day? It's another beautiful day, Friday morning here in Northern Illinois, and I am so glad that you're going to be joining me today. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Rita Hickman. I'm a body-mind expert. I'm a shiatsu massage therapist. Hi, Kathy. And I'm an Asian medicine, and Ronnie's here too. Great. And I'm an Asian medicine energy worker. So, and Lynn is here. Hi, Lynn. Great to see you. So, today's topic is a topic that's kind of near and dear to my heart. Hi, Josh. Good to see you. So, it's a new year and everybody's pushing everybody else, and we're being pushed to make, big changes in our life. You need to lose weight. You need to start exercising more. You need to get on you need to get rid of that guy. You need to get rid of that woman. You need to do whatever it is, but you need to make a change. It's what this time of year is supposed to be for, big transformational change. But the problem with that, hi Wendy, great to see you. The problem with that is most of us aren't ready to change our situation, and that's perfectly okay. Maybe we need the job that we're in, and just walking out right now, would leave, we're a single mom. It's not something that we can do. Or perhaps you can't just leave your relationship because there's way too many benefits that come with it. And right now, you're just not ready to change. Maybe you should say that thing to that person, and but you can't because right now you're just not in an emotionally, hi Ro, in an emotionally good place to handle the side effects of what's going on. So, most of us are actually in a place that we aren't ready to change our life. We aren't ready to do something big and different and transformational. We're tired and we're overwhelmed and we're just trying to keep all of the balls juggled. So about 6 months ago, this was really brought to my attention. I was watching a thing on Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins is a pretty intense personal growth expert. He'd be considered, one of the greatest personal growth experts, of our day. And he's helped presidents and spiritual leaders and people all over the place. And he's known as the man, and he's shaped his life and by confronting everything that needs to be confronted. So I watched a Netflix thing on a weekend that he does, a high intensity, crazy weekend. And he really does a great job at making sure that everybody's going to be okay. It keeps watch on who might, be having more emotional issues, who might need more support, especially if they're a risk or some harm to themselves or other people. So that's pretty cool. But for the general population, of women that are coming there, he had this tiny vignette of this woman that he confronted in order to get her to leave her relationship, and she's in the audience and he chose her because, part of him thought that she just wasn't deserving, and so he was going to show her that, that she was being too self-absorbed. And so what he did is he kept confronting her, and he pushed her to call her boyfriend in the middle of, 1,000 people or more at this conference. They're all jumping up and down, and the intensity is high, and, the air is crackling. And he's pushing her to call her, to call her boyfriend at the time because he's decided she probably doesn't love him and doesn't want to be in a relationship with him anymore. And so she does. And she calls him, and she's like, hey, babe, I hate to tell you this, but we just can't be together anymore. Hi, Lauren. Great to see you. We can't be together anymore. We can't have, it's just not working. I just don't love you. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you, too. I just don't love you, and we have to be done. And the guy's like, what the hell? She's on the phone, and she's totally in shock by, this response with 1,000 people watching her on camera, and Tony Robbins, with this daring her sort of energy to, to do this, to make this change. So she does. And so then they catch up with her, like after the program or, a few months later. Hi, Tori. Good to see you. And they show her, and she says, you know what, I just wasn't really ready to do that. And so I'm back together with my boyfriend, and now I'm trying to patch it up because I made this crazy phone call and totally embarrassed him and pulled the rug out from underneath him. This great guy, that I deserve to, that I want to have a relationship with. I was just nervous and couldn't figure it out and having a bad day. And now I have to try to fix this, and he doesn't trust me, and I have to try to rebuild this trust. Hi, Allison. Great to see you. So this is what happens when we push ourselves to make big transformational changes in our life that we're not ready to make yet. We end up crashing and burning. And then we have so many more problems, and we call it self-sabotage. We've self-sabotaged ourselves again. I'd like you to look at this just a little bit differently. From one thing I've learned in my life is that change happens as a side effect of things that I'm doing. Everybody's like, well, if you don't change your own life, it's not going to change. And that's true. But the push is always to make big changes, to make, life transformational, leave that job, leave that guy, stand up for yourself, be the person you're supposed to be amazing. And we get all pumped up, and then when we aren't ready to follow through, when the doubts and the questions come in, we back off. And then we also hate ourselves. We hate ourselves for being a failure, for not being able to change our life the way we're supposed to, for not being the strong, independent human being, that we're told we ought to be, for being a coward, for being weak, for being unable to stand up for ourselves. And we have a lot of judgmentalism that comes in and a lot of shame. And that judgmentalism and that shame, what it does is it makes it even harder to make changes. So what I want you to do is have a little bit of compassion for yourself. This is how I create big changes in my life, and actually pretty quickly. What I do is I decide this is where I want to go. This is what I want to achieve. I want my relationship to look like this. I want my job to look like that. I want my family to look like this over here. I hold visions of what I want something to look like in my life. And then I make the choices that I can make. I do the things that I can do, that I'm ready to do, to move in that direction. Because the neat thing is change is about accumulation. It's not about in the middle of a giant, hall of people cheering you on and pushing you to call your boyfriend and break it off. That's not lifelong change. That's a change for the moment that now you broke the window and you have to clean up the glass and pay for a new window. Lifelong change happens because you do the things that you can do when you can do them, and you just keep accumulating it. You just keep putting it on that side of the scale. And then when you focus on the small things that you're able to do, in a little while you look around and you notice that your life has changed, that things have changed. Maybe you've got a new job, and you just didn't notice because you were so busy, just continuing to move in the direction you wanted to go, those small differences. Maybe suddenly you're closer to your family and you're changing your beliefs about them. Or you find that your relationship or your marriage is becoming happier and you're enjoying yourself more. Change happens because we're not paying attention to it, because we're focusing on the little things we can do. If today what we can do is drink a glass of water, then that's what we do today, and that changes our mood. If tomorrow we can't drink the glass of water, but we're able to have compassion for the fact that we didn't, that's a step in the right direction too. And think of every time that you make any positive shift, any positive change in your behavior, that it's a gold coin that you're putting on the positive side of the scale. And a change in your behavior doesn't necessarily mean that you do something physical. It might be that you cut yourself a break. Tony Robbins' focus was great for a different sort of personality, for a personality that needs someone to push them to do something different. But most of the women and the sensitive people that I know, they don't need someone to push them to do something different. Because that will re-traumatize you. that will put you in a pit of despair that you now have to pull yourself out of. You know, being pushed or being forced on the backside is not really good for you, and it's not healthy. Hi, Sarah. Great to see you. This happens a lot when people decide they want to get healings done or big fixes done. You know, it moves way too fast for their body and their mind to adjust, and then they end up sick. They end up with bigger problems. You know, let's say they get the hip replacement, but in a few years, because they never worked on, you know, how they move or how they engage with the world, their next hip has a problem. Now they have to get surgery on that. And then their right knee, and then their left knee, then their right foot and their left foot. You know, and just parts and pieces keep being worked on and fixed because we didn't realize we have the power to fix those things in tiny little choices we make every day. So if you're hard on yourself, you don't give yourself a break. Reward yourself for when you do, when you have that compassion for doing what you can do right now and being grateful that you can do it in the first place. Because after a little while, you'll turn around and you'll notice that a lot of the things that you wanted and you were looking for showed up without you having to draw that line and walk in and throw your hands up. Now, if you're ready to do that, that can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun to draw the line in the sand and to face off that person and that bully and to say what's on your mind. That can be really great, and it's super empowering, but only when you're ready to do it. Because if you're not ready to do it, then you're going to have all of this guilt and doubt and shame and hurt and memories that will, one, not let you enjoy this amazing, you know, outburst of dun 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 that you just did. You won't even be able to enjoy standing up for yourself because you'll feel too bad about it or scared or worried. Hi, Gail. Great to see you. You know, and you won't enjoy the excitement that comes with taking that step. So instead, take a little step. And that's your homework for today. I want you to look around in your life at one thing. And I want you to, whether it's give yourself a pat on the back, whether it's drink a glass of water, whether it's close your eyes for a few extra minutes, I want you to do something that you really can do, that isn't terrifying, that won't, you know, knock you over your edge. I want you to do something small and enjoy it. And keep doing those little things every day. And you'll turn around and you'll find out you got exactly where you want it to be. It's pretty cool. And when you feel trapped, when you feel overwhelmed by emotion, you know what? The thought that rescues me every single time is, I am in process. This person is in process. This relationship is in process. My life is in process. I am in process. This is not the end of it. This is not all there's going to be until the end of time. I am not stuck. I am not trapped. I am continuing to move in a positive direction. And when I think that, when I feel angry or hurt or frozen or disassociated, when I think that thought of, this is a process, I'm in a process, and this is not where it's going to stay. You know, that old adage, the only thing that, you know, the only thing that doesn't change is change itself. We're always changing. We're always moving and shifting and growing and doing something different, and the moon comes up and the sun has solar flares and, you know, all of that stuff. We're always in a different place every moment of every day. So if you can remember, this is a process and you're doing great and you're going to get exactly where you want to go as long as you keep that vision in mind of who you want to be and what you want to do, you're going to get there in one way or another. Okay? So that's my tip for the day. And your homework, find something small that you actually can do, that you're not afraid to do, doesn't freak you out too much, that moves you towards who you want to be. Have a great rest of your day, guys, and a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.